What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with another DSP video. This is an update to the Detractor channels getting struck. So we have some new details emerging, including some interesting things Phil has said, and me connecting some of the dots. So this should be interesting. So we have Poem's future. People making videos about Phil shouldn't exist, but he's not going to take them down. So that was a quote from Phil from his pre-stream. Now this is the interesting part. So we found out this about DSP on his pre-stream. DSP has spoken to a lawyer and he could sue these channels, talk about him for slander and defamation. He won't do it though because there's too many of them. He still doesn't know the difference between slander and defamation, by the way. So this is interesting because he was saying he's talking to a lawyer about suing other detractors, even like Keemstar and Moist Critical and whatnot, before the detractor channels were struck. The interesting part about this one is, when you get a strike on your channel, and I've gone through this in the past, you have two options. One, you can wait it out. I think it used to be 60 days, but now they changed it to 90 days. And then the strike gets removed and whatnot. The second option is you can counter it. So to counter it, you have to send YouTube your personal information, such as your name, your address, your email, your telephone, unless you're part of a multi-person company. YouTube then passes that information to the person that struck your channel, and then they have, I believe, 14 or 21 days to show YouTube proof that they're going through litigation with you. If they refuse or don't even show proof that they're suing you, then the strike is removed, your video is back to normal. However, a lot of people don't do that because they don't want to give out their personal information to them. Now think about this. This is the part where I connect the dots here. What if the Jake Lasso guy is striking channels to get their personal information such as name, address, telephone number, all that, and Phil at the same time is talking to lawyers about suing detractors? It would be easier for Phil to sue if he had the personal information, the names, address, phone numbers, etc. If he's already talking to a lawyer, and Jake Lasso, who we've connected to him being a dent, gives Phil the information, and then Phil can file a lawsuit against them. Of course, Phil will never do that, because, you know, dude, he has no money, and he works 6 days a week maintaining a household, dude. But that would make sense for them to be working together. Jake issues the strike, gets their information, Phil talks to a lawyer about suing them, he has the information, he can move on with that. And of course, we have some reactions to that. We have, comes from a guy who can't give a single example, except generalized butthurt statements, not a single name mentioned, and the very rare case like the bank leak, not made by the broader detractor community, so not what he means. He wants to sue for his own incompetence. And we have Meerkat. The lawsuit would die faster than DSP throwback. We have In an Odder Place. Imagine this was to happen and Phil was forced to provide evidence such as his spending on champions, his business expenses, his takedown history, etc. I don't think you really want that, Phil. We have Renton Liar. Imagine being Phil's lawyer, him calling you up about some dumbass internet shit. They probably die laughing hysterically talking about this guy. Then we have Phil Callins. For someone denying striking anyone ever, DSP sure has paid a lot of money to lawyers and put in an awful lot of thought about how he'd like to take detractors down. With the recent increase of tips as of late, now keep in mind super chats are way down, DSP has made a lot of money in the past few days. He's even hit the vest goal, dude. And then, this morning, he goes on the pre-stream and says, I'm struggling to make ends meet right now. And we have Poem's future. Take note, no mention of how the food his wife needs to buy to cook for him for his event is spending money he doesn't have. But the booze he wants to drink, he now can't afford. Yeah, he was talking about how he can't get any more bottled alcohol, he just has to get some beers. Phil, what happened to all the other bottles you bought for your other events? Just curious about that. And of course, when his money increases, he always has big bills. He can't afford anything. He struggles to make ends meet. However, his WWE Champions addiction kicks in. So we have TJ Gamebox, snuck up to $862. He says he's struggling to make ends meet. However, he's spending almost $1,000 yet again on WWE Champions. For a guy who makes over $120,000 a year, how are you struggling, Phil? Maybe you should look at your expenses and live within your means. And I thought this was funny. This is Meow Blocked, one of the greatest accounts on Twitter. When DSP asks for support, this is what he means. And we have Phil as Bobby Hill wearing a bra. He even has his Zelda jammies. And looks like some Converse there. So hope you guys like that. Click that like, share the video, leave a comment below, hit subscribe. Subscribe to my other channels on the details and the end cards. And as always, I love each and every one of you. Hope you're all safe, healthy, and happy. Peace and love.